Hey there, Mr. Thayer from the Syracuse Academy of Science and Citizenship, here with another third grade math lesson. We are doing a lesson review today, a very quick lesson on some multiplication and some key items that you need to understand when multiplying. So today is just a review. It's going to be a quick lesson. I just want to walk you through a couple of the steps of things to understand. So here we go, lesson review number 1, understanding the meaning of multiplication. When we're talking about multiplication, what are we exactly talking about, okay? What are the pieces in a multiplication problem, and what are we planning on doing, okay? When we think of multiplication, I want you to think of taking equal groups of items and kind of putting them together. I'm going to show you how that's going to look in a second, but in multiplication, you're going to have equal groups. That's a big concept here. You can't have kind of uneven groups. They all have to be equal and the same. You have to know what the amount of each group is, okay? So like I said down there, equal groups, skip counting is important. Knowing how to count by 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6, all the way up. Counting by 10s, 10, 20, 30, 40. This will help you while you're learning your multiplication factors and answers. This will help you to get to an answer, and to be able to skip count is very important. So make sure you are practicing your skip counting and understanding what that looks like. And then finally, I have 3 words here that you've probably heard in previous lessons, but I want to bring them back for review here. We have array, row, and column, okay? And an array is just that picture that you work with. I've showed you a lot in the exit tickets. You see arrays of flowers, arrays of jelly beans, arrays of just circles and things like that. We can work off an array and make a multiplication sentence if we need to. We have to understand what it's telling us. Rows and columns. Rows go across, columns go from top to bottom. We have spent a lot of time on those, but I wanted to bring those terms up. Equal groups, skip counting, array, row, and column are very important when we talk about multiplication. Right? Also in multiplication, if you flip-flop the numbers, it is okay. 5 times 3 is the same as 3 times 5. Only in multiplication and addition can you switch the numbers, and it will not have any adjustment on the answer. So remember that today, if we have a 2 times 3 or a 3 times 2, it is still the same. The answer is going to be 6. So keep that in mind also with our lesson review. Okay? And lesson review today is very simple. I have three little problems for us to kind of look at. No big deal at all. These are just easy. That's why this is a review. Okay? First things first, I have 2 times 3. So how I'm going to attack this is very simple. I'm going to look at the first 2, and that's going to tell me that I have 2 groups. There's 1 group. There's 2 groups. And if you need to draw a picture to do your multiplication, that is fine. When we first start off, that is perfectly fine to draw some pictures, get those things together, not a problem. So I have 2 groups times 3. So that's telling me that I have 2 groups, and in each group I have 3 items. So let's put 3 items here. 1, 2, 3. I just use X's. They could be anything. Piece of candy, piece of pizza, anything you want. So there's 3 items in that group. In my second group, I need 1, 2, 3. All right. So 2 times 3 equals, and all I need to do is come and count these up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or I could skip count by 3s. 3, 6. Okay, so 2 times 3 equals, you guessed it, 6. Okay? 2 groups with 3 items inside. 2 times 3 equals 6. Okay? I know what you're thinking. I got this. This is easy. I hope it is. I hope this is very easy for you. Okay? Just our review here. Let's do one more like that. 3 times 4. Okay? So we know we have 3 groups. 1. Make that a little bit bigger. I went a little bit too small there. 1, 2, 3. So 3 groups, and inside we have 4 items. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're pretending I have pencils. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. So I have 3 groups with 4 items inside, 3 times 4. So I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, skip counted by 4 there. I just counted them up. If I want to just count them up, that was fine. So 3 times 4 equals 12, or 3 groups of 4 gives me 12. Now I want to show you something because I talked about how we could switch things around. Let's just move this to 4 times 3. Okay? We talked about how it doesn't matter if we switch the numbers around, but let's just double check anyway. So now this is telling me to have 4 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 groups, and in each group, give me 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we can skip count by 3. 3, 6, 9, and 12. There it is. 4 times 3 equals 12. 3, 6, 9, and 12 for 4 times 3. Look at that. 3 times 4, 4 times 3. Even if we skip the number, the answer or product, like we say in multiplication, is still 12. Okay? Also notice that all those groups are equal. Okay? In multiplication, all the groups are equal. You're not going to see 3 here, 5 here, 6. All the groups have to be equal. In this case, all the groups had 4 in them, and all the groups here had 3 in them. Okay? So groups have to be equal. You can't just put different groupings in there. It will not work out that way. So just remember that equal groups, flipping the numbers does not matter, and looking for those answers. All right. Last but not least here, I have an array. I have an array of x's. All right. We have rows and columns. Okay. So when I see an array, I just tell myself rows times columns. So for rows, all the way across is 1 row, all the way across is 2 rows. Okay? All the way across, all the way across. That's 2 rows right there. I put my multiplication sign times. Now let's look at rows. I have 1 row, 2 row, 3 row, 4 row. 2 times 4. Okay? And if I still don't know and I have to draw a picture, I could come down here and I could draw 2 groups with 4 items if I wanted to. Okay? So I can count these up. Either way, I can count by 4s here, 2 sets of 4, or I can come up here and count my array up, and I know that I'm going to have 8 for my answer. Okay? So a lot of times in a math problem, they're going to give you that array, and it's up to you to understand what how many rows you have, how many columns you have. Okay? That's why earlier in the lessons, I really went over rows, columns, and arrays. I kept saying it and saying it and saying it in the factor lessons because I want you to start dealing with that vocabulary. You have to understand when someone says array, not to get scared and be like, I don't know what that word is. I want you to understand. No problem. Array is just that picture. That's that grouping that we have to. Remember, it's an equal grouping. All right? When we talk about rows, we go across. We talk about columns, we go top to bottom. So understand those pieces when we multiply. Okay? Equal groups. It doesn't matter if we flip those numbers. Draw pictures if we have to. And you'll be good to go. Until you understand those multiplication factors, use the pictures and do what I told you. Okay? In the exit ticket today, I just have, I think, 15 multiplication problems for you to figure out and to work on. I will post feedback tomorrow. Have a good day.